Thomas, how are you doing, my friend?
Happy Friday, Scott. We've made it. We're here.
I feel like I've arrived. It was a chore getting to Friday this week for some reason.
It was. This week did drag out. And I think probably more so for you based off the trial schedule that you're covering. That had to play games with what you're doing.
It's thrown me off in my head. I'm just like, it's the half day live. And really the most difficult part for me was naming each of the shows. Be like, okay, this is day 4, part 2, and this is day 5, part 1, and switching midday just doesn't. My brain can't make that. That's higher math, and I just cannot do that.
And you're going. We're going to go to lunch break while court gets ready to start for the day.
They're finishing their breakfast. We're going to lunch. We're not coming back because it's our dinner. So that's how it went. How was your week? Was it fantastic as well?
It was good. We actually had a cold front sweep through Texas. So early on in the week, our high was 89 degrees one day. And due to the cold front, when we get them, obviously they come from the north. So we had a north breeze on top of it. So outside after work that afternoon, it felt like a fall day. It was beautiful. I was still halfway under the weather from my weekend event that took place. But it felt amazing. The timing was absolutely perfect. So that and just work, everything else. Can't wait for the getting to here to the podcast and then for the weekend. I'm excited.
This podcast is a fun one because we have some special guests.
We've got some guests. Absolutely. We've got some guests that most in chat are familiar with. Some of the most quick and witty individuals, great humor. I'm a little intimidated, to be honest, because I don't know if I'll be able to keep up, but I'm going to give it a shot.
I told you to handle all of the interview because I can't keep up with either of you. So we have two great people here. We're joining us right now. We have Adam Nuske and Rred Penn.
Hello.
Can you hear us now?
I hear you.
Yep.
Wonderful. And we have names on the screen. I don't know why my name is like a mile long and everyone else went with just very intimate first name only.
You went full name. We went
that one. Didn't want to confuse you with the other recovery addict.
See, it starts already.
How do I fix my name? I want to be cool like you guys.
It's back at the login. I think you have to go back out and back in. You can't.
You know what would be really nice is if you would just be at RA during chat. It'd be so much easier to tag you if it's just at RA. If we could do that.
That would be, I could have like a at RA, let's see.
So that it would highlight that for you?
But it would almost have to become a command because it will only do a YouTube name in chat. So.
Yeah. Well, maybe a command. Just something. I'm always thinking of improvements.
Hey, I found an edit name. Hang on.
There you go.
I got it. That was gonna bug him the whole show. I can tell you.
Well, it took him 4 days to get at object or the command for object, and I really wanted it way sooner.
Rred Penn comes out with the gloves off in the blue corner.
How's that for short?
I've been driving for 3.5 hours, and I got stuck behind some pretty slow people.
I was also driving for 3 hours, and she probably got stuck behind me.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
Were you driving a turkey truck? I got stuck behind a turkey truck.
I tell you, there are a couple trucks I do not want to be stuck behind of. One of them is those pit haulers. Any truck, the cattle haulers that have the like the grates on the side and you can see through and see what the animal is, because it's almost always the back end of the animal, and I know what they do. Like when they get nervous or, somebody honks or something, it's like, suddenly you need a car wash.
You just described all the trucks in my area. When you're behind a turkey truck, you get the snow of white feathers.
Yeah.
Feathers everywhere.
Man.
They're probably stuck all over my car.
Yeah, cattle trucks in Texas on the highway, when you approach one, you kind of make a quick getaway in a roundabout to get moving.
And it's like a spray.
Yeah, it's like the car in front of you.
Constant mist.
The car in front of you goes to clean their windshield, and you get all the overspray. But it's like 10 more gallons worth of that. So
talking about moisture.
It was either potty humor or food, one of the two, and we chose the first.
That's sort of both right there. Look at Adam's place.
Look at this.
Oh, how pretty.
We haven't had a tour in quite a while. First of all, before we begin the tour, Adam, tell us where you are, where you're located, for those that are not aware.
So I'm in Lafayette, Indiana.
All right.
It's about an hour north of Indianapolis. It's next to Purdue, which is where I was a graduate student.
And the address?
Social. Just give us the whole thing.
Awesome. Adam, you gave us a tour months ago when Scott first did StreamYard, and we got to see it. So you want to give us another walk around? We can see how things have progressed since then. It's been what, 3-4 months, Scott?
It's been
right. I mean, when I did the first tour, I didn't even show you this section because it was in shambles. So we've got 2 Weigela shrubs. This is Agastaki, which is a really cool plant. It's another name for it is hummingbird mint. It's really attracted to pollinators. It's getting dark, so they're not as many, but it's usually covered in bees. And it's one in the middle this is all stuff first year. That thing, it's not supposed to get that big. It's only supposed to get about 2 feet wide. It's 5 feet wide. So yeah,
wow.
That was terrible. I apologize.
I think all the bees just don't want to be live.
Wow. I tried to put it on the big screen so I could see the flowers, and something happened. I went to the portal.
Barely see anything.
Okay.
That's okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
We've got 2 rows of salvia bordering the fence, and these are really cool. Right here, the hummingbirds love them. They're still, we just put them in this year, so they should get a lot bigger, which is a little scary because they're already pretty big. The peach tree, and I'm trying to get the hummingbirds because we've got these 2 feeders, and I don't have my fountain on, so I've made this little fountain.
Hummingbird fountain.
Yeah, it's just a water pump and a dish, and hummingbirds like the sound of water. So,
yes, they do.
And then here's my. Were you gonna say something?
So you have a peach tree and a dish. I like it.
It's like a peach tree dish. Or a peach tree dish.
I can turn it on really quick. But there it is.
Yay! Oh,
So,
can you
and then I
hold the
have
phone
well, I
really
have
close
this.
to it?
What's up?
I want the ASMR. Can you hold the phone really close to it for a second?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's soothing. I can sleep to that.
And it's adjustable because that's more of the motor sound, but you can get more of the water sound. Anyway, so this is my succulent collection right now.
Little babies.
Yeah, I've got some of them are quite big. This one.
Oh yeah.
There was another one, but it's kind of going through some things right now. Some Echeveria, some other ones, and they're blooming. We've got our dragon fruits out here, which have not fruited yet, but they're kind of doing their thing, so it's going pretty well. But I'm going to try to. This peach tree was very skinny the last time I showed it to you. I cut it. Actually, peach trees you want them to grow very short. So this is actually the top of the tree is only about 18 inches off the ground. And then what they do is they have an open vase shape. That's the most conducive to healthy fruit. So apple trees, some rose bushes.
Is it a dwarf peach tree designed to stay small, or it's just?
It is. Sorry, it is a dwarf. Yeah, so it is going to stay smaller than others, but you still want to have even a non-dwarf peach tree. You want to have that shape, so it's not going to be as tall as other fruit trees. So here's our native garden, and I just put this in this year, and I've been getting really.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to.
The stream won't follow your landscape.
Yeah, I'll pan.
You choose an orientation, you have to stick with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Committed.
I did it again. All right.
Oops, I did it again.
Which I've become really passionate about sort of native plants, and because of their benefits to pollinators and the local ecology. And pollinators are kind of a funny term. I don't know, when I think of a pollinator, I think of something like cute or cuddly or desirable, but generally they're things like bees and flies. So it's they've got a really good PR on that, I think. I don't know, but we haven't had any issues with bee stings or anything. So a lot of bees are actually solitary and they won't sting you, except for no, even yellow jackets are not solitary, but they're typically not aggressive anyway. So tubular, no. So anyway, I'm going to keep going.
Tubular flowers.
And that's a wrap. Sorry.
No,
That's a little inside joke, everybody. We had a little conversation beforehand, and that word came up again.
What is that pink thing blooming under the window there? I can barely see it.
the pink flowers, the hydrangea.
Yeah.
That's the hydrangea.
Oh, you got a hydrangea doing pink. Nice.
Yeah, we've got a few. So these are delphiniums that are the tall spires with the
blue,
flowers going up, the blue, yeah, and then
Mhm.
and then we've got our we've got another hydrangea along with our rose. We've got 2 climbing roses and some lupins.
Nice lupins.
Here's a clematis. And then we've got all our fruits and vegetables. I've got a couple other things, but we've got beets, cabbage, collard greens, raspberry, which if anyone wants to grow something, if you're like wanting to get into possibly growing things, I would definitely recommend raspberries. You can't grow them too far south, but I think zone 3 through 8, typically you can grow them and they're really easy. Don't have a lot of pests, don't have to do too much. They grow ridiculous. Like these are only 2nd-year raspberries and you can see how big they are.
And they're legal in all 50 states.
Once you get them, you'll never get rid of them.
And then we've got some watermelon vines here, which are fun, kind of.
Yeah, they're going to go all the way down the block. I mean,
Yeah,
it looks like
that'll
you're
take up a lot of
them, but
space.
then trust me, their neighbors will have 2 blocks down. They're going to have watermelons.
What a lovely garden.
I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you. I've got some
You're
other
working hard.
blackberries and strawberries, but go ahead.
I was going to ask how long you spend weeding on like the average week, like maintenance type stuff.
So I tend to do sort of everything at once. So maybe 3 of the maybe like once a month, right? I'll just have a dedicated day or 2 for weeding.
That's how I do it.
And but if you can, I mean, so if you want a sort of a nerdy answer, which I don't know if you do, but you can, if you pre-treat your beds and are diligent about making sure your weeds don't go to seed, you can eventually get to where you don't need to do very much weeding. So that's at least the hope. The hope is that I'm not always having to do weeding. Like I weeded this. I'm facing myself. I weeded some of my beds and no weeds have come back. So hopefully that stays that way.
I think that's why I've had problems with my neighbors, because I always let my dandelions go to seed.
Yeah.
the way to fix the dandelion problem is the leaf blower and make it somebody else's problem, right?
No.
You're supposed
You
to
and your
mow
plants
them
are
before they go to seed.
You and your plant blow them to the neighbors.
That's why they're carving their trees into letters.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for your apple tree to fruit so you can see how far the apple falls from the tree.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm
awesome.
responsible for bringing all the terrible dad jokes, so that's why they're gonna continue to come as we go on. I love it. That's impressive.
Go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, I've got a Thomas joke if you want to hear it.
Always.
So, well, and I remember when we did the Adam Montgomery trial and it being a little odd to have somebody, a defendant with your same name. So I've noticed you've been saying, Thomas, Thomas, not to be confused with Thomas Randolph. And so I was thinking, but Thomas definitely be confused with the guy who took out Alex Murdaugh.
Oh, the hitman that didn't exist in the sketch. I have your Photoshop mock-up of me next to him too, still ingrained in my head. Appreciate that.
Right,
That's so funny.
That's awesome.
Adam, that's cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Good
so
job.
Oh,
A couple questions. No, go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say, Rred, tell us a little bit before we get too far. Where are you? Not
Right
just where
now-
you're located.
Right now, I'm in northwest Iowa at almost 10 miles from the Minnesota border.
Awesome.
The name of the lake is Okoboji. I've got it here somehow on my shirt.
It's a big
And here's
fishing
the
lake.
lake. I can. How do you flip the camera like this? Do you? Never mind. I'll just turn
You
my.
have to go into the settings.
There's the lake.
This
And
is
I
your
can
back
walk down
porch?
that path. My chair is hanging like that under our deck. So that's where I was sitting. I'll
That
sit
looks
back
just
down.
absolutely miserable every evening.
It's
having
horrible.
to look out over
This
the
is
lake
an
like that.
awful place. I hate it. No,
Do you fish
it's a
at all?
lovely place. Yeah, I do. I was gonna throw a pole in, but we don't have any bait right now, and I didn't feel like casting with my lure. While I was
I'd
trying to
throw the
hold
line
on.
in, but hold on to the pole.
Well,
what-
yeah,
Wise
yeah,
words.
Right. I caught the best walleye last summer.
Oh, man.
So,
Walleye.
I
Walleye.
got
Do you
everybody
eat-
jealous.
Is it catch and release or do you eat the walleye?
We eat what we can catch that is eatable, edible. Is that the word? Edible.
Edible. It's
Yes.
delicious.
She taught English.
Fish? Say
he
huh?
said you taught English.
Yeah, I did. I make up words all the time because I've got a grandchild or two. We make up words now because we speak 2-year-old and 5-year-old.
That's fair.
Those are the
Yeah.
best,
I love it.
best ages to make up words
Yes,
with.
it is. They are so.
It doesn't
cute.
work nearly as well with adults. You get
No.
called out like constantly.
Right.
Yeah, fair.
We-
Well, I
Had a
try.
hummingbird
I try
fight.
not to call that out on the chat. I try to be. I
I
reserve.
make up words on my charts.
Yeah.
I spell things wrong and stick them
Yeah,
up there.
well, it's okay. The
Liaison.
point is, you did it.
And then I find out on Twitter
Yeah,
somebody
right?
makes a post.
I love the running girl on the last chart. That cracked me up.
No, that was fun.
Run away! Run away! She was cute. All the ponytails were adorable.
I love it.
It was cute.
So, couple questions for y'all.
All right.
Real, just straightforward and easy. Rred, at what point in time did you find RA and start watching and become a part of the community? Because you're real active. You're in chat every day. You're witty. You have
My,
some good insight. You've been around.
I have. I go way back to newspaper chat rooms. That's where I got my name. About 15 years ago, I started writing snarky comments on news articles, and I've never stopped. I watched the OJ trial in secret in the break room while I was teaching. I watched all of Depp and heard that whole trial, and I just got sucked into it. It's fun, it's educational, it's people watching, which is what I love to do, both on the screen and in the chat. You start seeing the same people, and then you just can't help it. You have to say something to somebody. And so I watched Depp v. Heard, and I watched who's the guy? Kyle.
Mr. Brooks.
No.
Oh,
the one before that.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yes,
Rittenhouse,
I
yeah.
watched that one.
With Schroeder.
And I did those, on other channels, the law tubers that were just starting to, do that, film
Right.
trials and run them streaming. And when Rittenhouse and Depp and Heard was over, I just started searching around for new things, and I landed on RA. He was in my feed because I was into crime, and somehow I just clicked on it, and I went, oh my God, I'm home. This guy is perfect. He's got the smooth, buttery voice that is easy to listen to while I'm doing other things. And then the chat, I remember it was specifically Thomas and Thal were having arguments about whose fault it was. And this was way long. I mean, this is like after the first few weeks, you guys were already at each other about whose fault it was.
Yeah,
And I
I
just thought,
lost.
these guys are hilarious. So I just kept coming back. I didn't come back every day at first, but eventually I couldn't stop myself. I became an addict. And then I started chatting. I was a lurker for a long time. And then I just, what the hell? I'll start talking. Excuse me, I just said a word. But then
It's okay. It's after 7.
Beep.
So we're-
Is Amy's
we're
here?
good.
I just started chatting, and you can't shut me up when I start. So yeah.
Adam,
so
Adam
sorry.
disconnects.
Yeah,
Anyway,
tubular.
yeah. I think it was on a globe, or my dog Clover is the one who encouraged me to
Yeah,
join.
Richard.
He gave me my first gifted membership, and from then on, it's I've just been doing that for you, and I just enjoy it so much. It's wonderful what you are doing, you guys, and it's a pleasure every day. So thank you.
That's awesome. Richard's great. We've actually had conversations offline before as well, but that's funny. Yeah, you went from subscriber, lurker, engaged in chat to Friday night on the podcast. So
how did that happen?
You've arrived.
Yeah. It's just nothing screams addiction.
Life cycle.
Before I forget, I'm shouting out to my friend Stuart, who's watching. I don't know if he's watched me watch you guys every day that he's at our house.
Stuart, tell us something embarrassing about Stuart.
Yeah,
something embarrassing about
you to share
Stuart.
In front of
he got pranked really good last week. Somebody.
This is
kind of a long story. Are you sure you want to hear this? Someone lost their phone. My husband had all his buddies over, and we were at this lake house, and someone left their phone on the dock or something, and they couldn't find it. And Stuart called it so that they could hear the sound and find the phone. And somebody else found the phone and answered it, but put on the Indian voice, did the whole RA thing with the, I'm going to spoof this guy, and said, I've got your phone. Who is this? Who's calling me? And Stuart bought into it and didn't realize that it was one of his own buddies pranking him. And he may have had a few drinks.
I like Stuart's friends a lot.
Stuart's going to kill me when I see him the next time.
Well, Stuart sounds like a good friend as well.
He's a great guy. We have fun friends. They're all musicians and they're all hilarious. So yeah, that's what we did last week here at the lake, or the week before. What are you showing us? Is that nasturtiums?
These are marigolds.
Oh, marigolds. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And they're great for pests.
I should walk around and show you some of mine. I've got sunflowers.
Yeah.
Is Brandy watching? Is Brandy in the chat?
Only one garden tour per show, please.
Oh, come on. I just want to know, is Brandy here?
She's not in chat.
She was just wrapping up. I don't know when her show wrapped up.
Then I won't. I'll just send her a picture on her burner phone when she gets one.
Yeah.
I had something for her, but.
So, Adam, while you're continuing the show, which has been delightful, by the way, everyone's been enjoying listening and watching.
Immensely.
Strawberry, right?
Adam, when did you find RA's channel? What trial or what time? We'll go with Scott because that's the name from tonight's show. But yeah.
So yeah, this is a question I've attempted to. I kind of. Whenever I would talk about this, he'd always miss my comments, so I kind of gave up on telling this story. But
I remember this.
Well, I was actually. I think it was the second day of Daryl Brooks. So, there were only 70 people in chat or whatever. I was just looking for a channel I could listen to in the background while I was gardening.
Sure.
And for some reason, YouTube recommended me this channel. And I had no interest in true crime.
Oh, wow.
My interest in true crime is still probably questionable.
I still don't.
Still don't.
My least favorite part of the show.
That's interesting. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. So whenever he says, "Oh, I found this community," I don't know, I'm not part of that community.
Oh, but you are. You really are.
I have become now. Yes.
That's really.
I
cool.
remember when Scott couldn't pronounce your name, Adam.
And yes, he had to tell me Nuske like husky.
Nuske like husky. Yeah.
That's engraved in my head too. Every time I see him in chat, I hear Nuske like husky, all the time from Scott telling himself and reminding over and over again.
Now
I still have to do that with the guy named Jaco.
Jaco.
Yako.
Scott, say Lois Cox.
Lois Cox. Do I always say Lewis?
Lois.
I had a friend named Lewis, but he spelled it like Lois. At least it looks how it looked like to me. So now I can't. Lois Cox.
Lois and I are always laughing at that. You'll get it someday.
I don't think I will. I have zero
You've been called out publicly a few times.
That's too funny.
I'll make a note of this. Lois Cox. I need like a phonetic spelling for everyone's names.
You got it.
While you're looking at your notepad, RA. This is something the
Uh-oh.
channel we've done before on the channel.
Lois.
A little bit there it is. That's awesome. A little
Yay.
bit different. So we're gonna play a game here, and we've done it
Uh-oh.
before. It's Would You Rather, and I put Scott through it about 3 weeks ago. I made him pick and choose certain choices between A and B, but the tables have turned. So Scott's come up with some would you rathers that the three of us have to decide which we would rather. So
Oh dear.
Yes.
throwing
Yes.
Scott right into the fire here. He's
Okay.
he's at the plate. He's up to bat, and we're taking
And he's
turns.
had all day to think of these, right?
No, I just started writing them right before we went live. So
yeah,
Okay.
true
this is
story.
what you get. Okay, first of all, just for the sake of this, you have to choose one or the other. Okay. I did this with my kids, and they chose like option D every single time. They're like, I would make you do it, and things
Not
like
fair.
that. And that's not how it works. We play by rules here. It's one or the other. So the first one: would you rather have to eat sandwiches upside down, like open face sandwiches, like peanut butter upside down, one piece of bread, or have to eat soup with a fork?
Ooh, upside down sandwiches.
Do you mean like inside out, like the peanut butter on the outside and the?
Well,
How-
you're thinking of like a double-sided sandwich. I'm thinking like one slice of bread, peanut butter on one side, and then flip it peanut butter side down, and then eat it.
So
Like
one
butter
slice
side
of
down
bread,
toast.
peanut butter, and
think-
jelly are on opposite sides of that one slice of bread.
No, you guys.
That's
I
way
thought this would be a little
easier
easier.
than soup
one,
with a
one
fork.
slice of bread. Okay, it goes like this. This is how I envision it. Slice of bread, put the peanut butter on, put the jelly on, you flip it over, and then you eat it.
Oh,
Okay, so like a pizza upside down or something.
Yes, upside down pizza. That would be a good
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the thing that typically uses two pieces of bread. That if you flip it upside down, it would be the exact same. Yeah, not that.
Mm-mm.
That's what confused me at first.
yeah. I'll take the upside down pizza.
Totally.
Upside down pizza. I don't know whose turn we're on.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. So that was an easy one. Would you rather be limited to one blink per minute, or have to smack your lips between words?
Oh, blink.
Blink.
100% blink, and because you triggered me, because on my
Right?
first
Now I'm-
like few videos that I put on my channel, I was doing it, and I would say, and now from the West Coast, we then have, and when I had to rewatch my video to edit, I went, oh my gosh, I went.
Yeah, my lips
between-
are
it was-
really dry now.
It was terrible. I was so embarrassed, so I deleted the
hear
whole
it.
thing.
We hear it every time a witness gets up there with the microphone right in front of their face. And
Mhm.
they're-
Yes.
Okay, so the blink or blinks. Okay, so maybe we'll have a little more division here. Would you rather be able to see or see smells or smell colors?
Smell colors.
What would browns? No, never mind. Go ahead.
Browns can smell good. Chocolate and brownies.
I might like to see smells.
I'm going see smells so I can avoid a cloud I can dodge down the aisle in Walmart when I'm doing my errands. So I'm going see smells.
What sort of cloud are we talking about?
Well, take a pick. It's
No
Walmart.
way. No way.
You can,
Actually-
and then you see a really awesome smell coming from the Nuske nursery, and you can walk right into it and enjoy it.
Okay.
You could look at the flower, like that flowering. What's that really stinky flower that like blooms?
Oh,
and
the
smells like
100-year plant that
Yeah, you'd be
smells
like,
like
"Oh,
vomit. Yeah.
Don't get near that one. I can see that
Right.
smells bad.
But you'd still be able to see it, right?
Yeah, you see it, so you
Yeah.
can dodge it.
Yeah, you'd get both.
Unless you're like, what if your site was unreliable? So at least you didn't know this, right? Or what if it was randomly unreliable, right? So you would see a bad smell, but it would actually look very pleasant, and you would get drawn to it until you learned it. That'd be pretty funny.
That's true.
That's
so
evil.
it would be like one of those versions of cheeses that smell bad but taste good. Like initially, you're like, I'm not sure if I
Yeah,
want to do this.
right.
And once
There's
you
a
get
lot
there,
of
You'd be
cheeses
drawn
that smell
to it,
bad
and
but taste good. That's true.
It's like opening beef jerky in the car. Like it's a big no-no.
Ooh.
You can't. You
Everybody
can't do that on a road
smells
trip.
that. Yes.
It's
I
terrible.
didn't know that was a thing. I
Oh.
do eat beef jerky in the car on road trips. Is this?
Do you
So,
do you
when
ask
you-
permission from your passengers?
No, I'm the driver.
Maybe
If
you
they
should
have a
find
problem, they
out
can
whether
walk.
they approve.
All beef. Here it is right here. 80s Music Man. All beef jerky, no matter the flavor. When you open it in the car, it smells like a fart. It smells terrible.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is it's, what is it, like 80% of taste is smell, but once it's open, it's aired out and you start eating it, it's nothing like
That's why
initially
I'd
when you
rather
open it.
smell colors than see, smells.
That's too funny. Okay, so
Okay.
that was the first one we all didn't agree.
I cannot do bad smells.
I've got one more. This one is going to be more sort of like legally oriented.
Legal.
Would you rather have to like be compelled, like inner compulsion, you cannot avoid it, tell the complete truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth every time you talk to a law enforcement officer, or never be able to order correctly when you're in the drive-thru?
I feel like that happens to me anyway. Both of those.
You got the
Right.
worst of both worlds.
I'm totally honest there. I don't know.
You just have that much respect for authority that the officer comes up and you're like, look, officer, I'm sorry, I was speeding.
Honest to God, I got pulled over once and it was because I coughed. And in the act of coughing, my foot hit the accelerator and he saw me, zoom off and he grabbed me. And I said, I'm sorry, sir, I coughed. And my husband goes, that's not going to fly. And the guy goes, okay, well, just don't do that next time.
Just don't
I was
cough
like,
when you're driving.
over.
Or blink. Yeah.
I think it's because I'm a cute blonde.
That's probably had more to do with it than your story, because I don't think I would have bought the. I was coughing and accelerated.
It was the honest truth. I coughed.
Yeah.
Is there a loophole? Can I just plead the fifth? I don't have to tell them the truth, but I don't have to tell them anything. Or do I have to?
Nothing but the truth.
All right.
Well, hold on. Well, go ahead, Thomas. Did you go ahead?
Well, no, I want to hear. I think you're going to find another loophole. You're a smart guy, so I'm going to wait before I answer.
I was thinking with drive-thrus, they get your order wrong anyway, so maybe it'll cancel out. Right, you order something, you get it wrong, and then they get it wrong again, and then it cancels out. So there you go.
You get it right.
Yeah, you get it right.
I think that's what I was trying to say. It always happens to me.
I'm going drive-through.
So it doesn't matter what you order in the drive-through. Can I share just a brief story? I shared this with Thomas earlier. I just got back from Bojangles, right? Or just a little, and they have a big sign, breakfast all day. Okay, and who doesn't like breakfast in the evening?
Sure, I want waffles.
Yeah, waffles, pancakes. I was thinking sausage muffin. That would be great. I ordered it, and this thing arrived, and the biscuit. Bojangles knows how to do biscuits. I'm sorry, they are the best. They are the very best biscuits. The sausage, I'm sure, was fresh when they cooked it this morning, but it was the hardest shriveled puck of a sausage I've ever seen in my life. There was no moisture left in it. It was about the size of a 50-cent piece. It had like shrunk down to that size. It was almost jerky. It was bad. It was
Did
so.
you send it back?
No, I ate it because I didn't have time. I didn't have time to go through, and I knew they'd probably just mess it up again. But
by the time you went back around, you would just get a little bit older sausage and food.
What I did to try to make it palatable, edible is they have all this hot sauce. I think it's like straight Tabasco or I forget what it is, but I just like soaked it in that and
Hot
just
sauce
imagines that I was
mixes
eating like
everything.
chips and dip.
Ew. No. No. I would have just thrown the hockey puck out the window and ate the biscuit.
Probably would have been a
That's
good
how
thing.
I solved that.
Maybe a little honey on the biscuit. Called it a dessert.
Yeah, that could have been. So perfect. Speaking of food, that's a perfect prelude. Right in this.
Segue.
Which
Yeah,
I
exactly.
should, hold on. So two things. One, probably my favorite part of the show is the segues. I love the segues. Like when you you bought a lotto ticket to segue into a story. I was really impressed by that. The other comment was that I'm not used to my. Is this the comment I was going to make? I'm not used to my face being accountable at all times. I don't know how you do this. I'm used to, just doing whatever with my face, and like when I'm reading chat. And so this is probably the toughest part I'm finding of doing this is making sure my face isn't doing weird stuff. So any advice?
I gave up on that a long time ago.
Nope. You just have to own it and just know that every time you make a weird expression or get caught, picking your nose or something, Thomas is going to probably screenshot it and save it in a big file and
Right.
then periodically post it on Discord or somewhere else.
I have 6 already from the show alone since we started,
Oh,
so it's
geez.
already getting in.
You're not doing that to this show, are you?
Yeah, I have 6 already saved right
Oh,
now.
shoot.
The the segues that
You
we
probably
do,
got Adam going at me.
the segues, they're the fun part, and I have to admit, and Scott will agree, they're 100% on accident. We don't
Yes.
plan them. We don't talk about them. They're
It's
all
your
accidental.
superpower.
It just, I don't know. We just luck and fall right into it, and it
I
It's
think
happens.
either lucky
weathermen
or-
have to be able to do that. Weathermen in general segue frequently when they're, in the news or whatever. They have to do that.
They never know what story is going to be the last one before they're like, and Rudd's tossed to the weather. Well,
That's
we
true.
had 6 bodies on the streets last night. We're going to have 6 inches of snow tomorrow. They just have
Right.
to tie
That
it in
would've been-
together.
Very cool.
So now that completely lost the segue we had, we're gonna jump
Food.
into one that we do is food.
We can use segues to segue. Oh,
food.
this was the other thought I was going to make. I suggest that when we get onto a food tangent, we call it food court.
That works.
Ooh,
There you go.
I like
Have
it.
I think we should use that. I'll see if I can make a graphic for that. I'll have to talk to Brandy. She can teach me how to do one of those cool little
That would
Yeah.
be fun.
stingers.
So speaking of food court,
Yeah, food.
Go.
we're gonna be persecuted for this. We have to go around the horn here.
Mhm.
You have to admit a food that you absolutely enjoy that the vast majority would not and would think it's gross, and or it can be like a condiment or a topping or a mix with food that you enjoy that
Most
the
people
majority is going to go, oh. There's going to be a few in chat that are going to go, oh, I love it, I eat it too. But the goal is to be honest with something that 60% definitely don't agree with your choice. So we're going to throw Scott under the bus first with no forethought.
I'm thinking if I get 60%, only 60% against this one, I'm doing well. Go to your fridge, grab out a nice full bottle of Hidden Valley Ranch dressing. Hold that in your left hand because you're going to need it. With your right hand, you have an open package of saltine crackers. And then you just put as much on the cracker as you can without it like falling off the edge and eat it. And then repeat until you're out of crackers.
I could not do that.
I put butter with salt and pepper on saltines and they'll eat them, but the ranch I couldn't do. I don't think. I just after a couple bites, it's just a big pile of mush in your mouth, and I just
It's chew and swallow. I mean, it's
it's not a
you don't, like,
lollipop.
save it all up in there until you're done with it. But I love ranch dressing. I do. A funny thing on salads, I like Italian and stuff, but ranch dressing, I would probably take intravenously if they served it with a needle.
You do well here in Iowa. They serve ranch with everything.
I love ranch. I don't think I could do it on the saltines. I think that's a good one. I don't know if the majority would like it.
He had time to think of that one, I think. I'm still thinking about what I would eat that most people wouldn't.
Go ahead.
I'll jump in because I found a comment that I feel like mine is, I think it's weird, but it's probably actually not. From I've already seen a couple comments that it's what mine is, and I agree with. So I thoroughly enjoy getting a bag of potato chips and dipping it in mayo and ketchup because it's like crunchy French fries. And before I even brought it up, Angie threw it in chat, ketchup potato chips. But
Mine, yeah, ketchup is one of my favorite condiments, and I get made fun of all the time because it's such a little kid thing to eat. But I happen to like ketchup. I do it on eggs and potatoes and burgers and.
do you put it on your mac and cheese?
No, I don't.
Thank goodness.
That
We
would be
almost had to kick you off
sacrilege.
the show.
that would have been a bad one.
Inconceivable. You can't do that.
Can't do. So okay, good. So it
Is it-
wasn't just a gimme.
Is it ketchup or catsup?
Ketchup.
You know, they spell it both ways at the store. Do you have a preference as far as the taste?
I think ketchup wins in America. I don't know about other places. We spell it ketchup here because Heinz has ketchup on the bottle. And they're the predominant
We'll have to do a poll. Does everyone else see it spelled as catsup?
My mom used to
See?
say it that way, but we always bought ketchup.
I'll be honest, I've never read the bottle.
Oh, come on. Really?
It's a red bottle
Thomas,
with the
You can
K.
see
They
through
look.
it. You know what's inside.
I've never actually paid enough attention to read the bottle.
Are you of the generation that got to experience green ketchup and purple ketchup?
Oh, I did.
I saw the
kids
green, not
totally were
What's
old
purple?
enough for that. I mean, that was their thing when they were little. Purple ketchup and green ketchup. It was disgusting,
Sounds disgusting. I don't.
but it tasted like ketchup if you closed your eyes. And I ate it too. It just wasn't my thing. It needs to be red to me.
And then if you hop the pond here, it's just tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce.
And so while we're on it, potato chips, French fries, etc. So the other thing I'll do is dip your French fries in your preference, vanilla or chocolate, but you dip it in your shake and you eat it.
We've talked about that before here. And yes, that is a thing that I.
Mrs. RA is on your side on that one,
It's
but
delicious.
she's still wrong.
Yes, the boss.
Delicious that way.
She's building a small army. That's what she's
Yes.
doing. Adam, what do you got?
So I don't know. My diet is interesting. But not in that way. I don't really eat weird combinations. I'm kind of like the person who always has to have everything separate. You know, you like your meals, like your potatoes separate from your whatever, your chicken or your steak.
Good
But
touch, right?
Do you eat from divided plates? Do you have the divided plate?
I don't have divided. What I do is I have separate plates. We have so many plates that I have
You use
tiny
different
little plates.
completely.
I use different plates. Yeah, if I could
I know
combine
people
them,
like
that would make easier.
Yeah.
But so one thing I do that's weird is I'll other than talking on the street. Hold on.
Yeah, have your neighbors spotted you yet? Walking around, talking to your phone, and looking at the camera and filming your plants?
Not until right now. No. So I'll eat a lot of things that should be combined with other things alone. So I'll eat ketchup just straight, or I'll eat steak sauce just straight, or I'll eat butter just straight. So that's something weird. And then
that is.
I'm thinking the ranch dressing, just like
peanut butter and jelly
from the
sandwich.
bottle.
You eat the bread and the peanut butter and
buffalo sauce.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, that was good, Red Pen. But and can I make a good flavor combination recommendation?
Please.
Yeah.
We'll be the judge if it's good, but you could share. Yeah.
Well, I mean, everyone can try this, but I love mixing. It's just salty and sweet, but also kind of tart. So if you take like a Gala apple and salted like pretzel sticks, those and together, it's amazing. Because you get a little bit of you get a bunch. It's a really interesting flavor combination. It's like a little acidic and sour and bitter and sweet. It's all of those combined. It's amazing.
How do you have two crunchy things together?
I'll make a video. I'll
like
have to show you.
A bite of apple, then a bite of pretzel stick. Is it?
Yeah. I'll usually you take a bite of the apple, you take a couple, you chew it up a little, and then you get as many pretzel sticks in your mouth as you can, and then enjoy.
Masticate the apple, and then you add the pretzel.
Yeah.
Like blend it in your mouth. So you eat on different plates, but then you use your mouth for like the mixing machine.
I bet his mother had a time with him when he was a kid.
I'm blown away. So you're a texture guy then. If you can just eat ketchup and eat sauce, but then you go with the pretzel and apple, it's all crunchy. So it's texture for you. Is that, am I right or am I wrong?
No, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I don't well, when you chew up the apple, it's no longer,
Bug on me.
What?
I'm going to try it because we have both the Gala apples and pretzel sticks. So that's something I can give go. And I love it. Salt does amazing things for foods you wouldn't think it would be good on.
Pretzels are
But
a
salt
Well,
good.
salt brings out the intensifies flavor or something. I read. Somebody told me.
Yeah, if you don't oversalt, the proper amount of salt just actually brings out the existing flavor there. It doesn't change it or mask it or do anything else. But most people oversalt, and that's when it changes the game. But I think so, Scott. If you try the apple with the pretzels, then I think Rred and Adam will do the Oreo with the pickle sandwich thing.
I would
think
do
that's
you're
a
that.
going to
fair
do
trade.
the ranch and the saltine. Is that a good
I'll try it. In
I
fact,
can't
when we're
do-
done with the podcast, I will go downstairs and try it, and I'll send you the video, and you can post it next week.
It's honestly, it's not that good. I ate it as a kid, and I still do.
You don't have to say honestly. I believe you 100%, but it's not that good. Trust me, that's fine.
Not like the thing you put in your like, oh, that is. No, it's not. It's like, yeah, that tastes like ranch and a saltine.
Somebody you posted a chat. I think it was Ace. Somebody peanut butter and mayo, and that's probably my grossest craving sandwich is a peanut butter, mayonnaise, lettuce, and pickle relish. My dad used to eat those that way, and it's good combination to me. But my husband would go, yeah. So
I'm going with also.
Yeah.
CC has a great comment. Popcorn and chocolate. I've
that's
been
a
there.
good one.
You can dump some peanut M&Ms in some popcorn
yeah.
and make that a little mix. It's awesome. Just don't put
Chocolate
the
and
M&Ms in
popcorn's
too
good.
soon
Yeah.
because they'll melt from the heat from the popcorn, but it's
Well,
super
they have
good.
that Moose Munch that they sell. I think it's Harry and David sells Moose Munch that's
Yeah.
chocolate chunks and kind of a kettle corn popcorn that's coated in something. It's delicious. My son is hitting me weird. We're getting closer to a sunset.
We're holding
Perfect.
off. We're expecting
for
just
it.
a brilliant one.
I'll try
We're
and
going to stall here for a little bit.
tilt
Yeah.
myself so that, yeah, that's better.
Arlene W's got salt on watermelon. I've seen
Yes.
that, and I've seen people do the
Cantaloupe.
tahine, the little spicy mix you can dump on that as well.
Mhm.
Let's
Salt
see,
and pepper on tomatoes. Have you done salt and pepper? A little bit of
Yep.
pepper. And then a
Enjoyable.
thick slice of Velveeta cheese.
Oh, I've
I
never
would
done it
put-
with the cheese.
Sugar on tomatoes. Just a little sprinkle of sugar on a slice of tomato. Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yum.
Oh, look at this. In Canada, we have ketchup chips. They said
Ew.
ketchup flavored potato chips. It solves
Lay's-
your problem.
Lay's makes them. I've seen it. I've never had them actually. It takes with the fun of taking the potato chip and making the dip yourself in the proper amount and flavor that you want. But
We just discovered dill pickle potato chips, and they are amazing. They're really good.
You said pickle.
Pickles. They're
Wait,
pretty
chat-
good.
chat is just here we go. We mentioned food and then off it goes. I mean, we could go on. There's
Line
one,
in a
there's
coconut.
two, there's
There's
three,
a song.
there's four. It just doesn't stop.
Yum.
Food is the way it goes. So that's hilarious. So as you guys have seen the podcast before, well, I assume not everyone watches, but we always like to intertwine some news stories.
Mhm.
And
Cool.
they're a little bit odd, they're a little bit different. Not everything that we see in the headlines and not always true crime related. So I took the liberty of finding a goofy story from where you both are from.
Uh-oh.
And I think I even plugged in one for Scott too. I think I
Yep.
included
Yeah,
it.
I'm in there.
Oh yeah, and I did myself. I did the nice one for me. So
Figures.
Adam is
Mhm.
getting you're up first. So we've got
Okay.
we've got a story. So this past April, the police arrested a man named Brian. He's a student at Notre Dame. He broke into a massage parlor, nearly caused a fire because he went to the parlor's kitchen and started chowing down on the grub that was in the parlor's kitchen. So he found his way into the kitchen, went through half a box of Hot Pockets, put some microwave mac and cheese in the oven. Microwave mac and cheese in the oven. That's not where that goes, but that's what he did. And he passed out while eating drumstick ice cream treats.
I
His
could do
mac
that.
and cheese meal set off the smoke alarm. And he did not get disturbed because his unconscious state, at the least. Police came, they arrived, they found, and it was all due to heavy drinking and smoking synthetic
And
marijuana.
carbs.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's from the state.
That sounds like a college
Of Indiana.
town story. Definitely.
Mhm.
Adam's like nodding, like, yeah, that happens around here. Indiana, man. That's
He's
pretty
not
much fun.
surprised. Not at all.
So
Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets. I'm not sure if I would eat anything out of a massage parlor. I'm just call me picky, but that's not where I go for like, what's in the fridge?
Yeah, they gotta have something in there. For anyone that, well, whether you eat them or not, if you know what a Hot Pocket is, go on YouTube or anywhere you can, search Jim Gaffigan Hot Pockets. And he's a stand-up comedian, and he gives a great skit on the reality of Hot Pockets. And he actually nicknames them, which I won't say on stream or put in chat because it's gross, but it is what they do and what they produce, and it's a hilarious stand. So Jim Gaffigan Hot Pockets.
So all this food was at a massage parlor?
It was at a salon, but it was in their kitchen break room. He found all that food in there, and
that sounds like an amazing break room.
Yeah, they must not get a lot of business. They're not full all the time if they've got all that food back there.
Probably one of the perks for the staff is like all the Hot Pockets you can eat.
Oh, yeah, what a perk.
Well, the
Thanks, boss.
drumsticks. That should be listed in like the job posting.
Yeah, exactly. And all the ice cream drumsticks.
Position doesn't pay, but we do have free drumsticks. I'm in.
Yep.
Right.
Where do I sign up?
No,
So last week or the week before, I think it might have been the week before. We had, if y'all remember, we had the story with the lady getting the recipes off of headstones.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Which was mind blowing to me.
Yeah, that was funny.
Which was crazy. So the headstones are back in the news, and this comes out of the lovely state of Rred, Iowa.
Okay.
So this is actually
cemetery humor.
Yeah, so this isn't a trend or a thing that I'm just learning. This is actually a family that they were sending a message. It was kind of funny. So on the headstone, and I'm going to have to kind of illustrate here. So the line number 1, here's what's important. Track the letter of the first word I say. Okay. So for each line. So forever in our hearts. So F. Until we meet again.
I see where this is going.
Cherished memories known as space, and the headstone has a space. Next line. Our son and brother, father, papa, uncle, friend, and cousin.
That's too funny. And that was in Iowa?
Yeah, it's in Iowa. So it was, so you go down the line, and it's funny when I found the article and I was reading it and I looked at the image, there's little blurred spots in the image, and I went, that's weird. They took that picture for the headline and it's all fuzzy. They did. It wasn't until I got to the bottom of the article and I went, they redacted the image because it spells the trees Rred carved by his neighbors.
That's hilarious.
So
I don't put it past people from here.
Somebody got the last word in. That's what it sounds like. What happened?
I went online.
Right?
I went online and did a deep dive to see if Rred had any family in Iowa, to see if he had any hand in this.
That's pretty low to put it on their tombstone, just as one final gesture.
Right?
That's a gesture, all right.
Whoa.
Yeah, I thought that was great. So that's out of Iowa. So I've lost my story. I've got one. This one's right out of North Carolina for Scott.
I'm in trouble.
I've got to pull it out. This is kind of fun. Here we go. So it's the naked truth.
Naked.
So,
we say it naked here.
Naked.
Oh, naked. Like NEKED. Is how y'all.
NEKID. Yep. Naked.
Oh, ID. So the naked truth. So, there's a gentleman. Let's see. I want to find the town to see if you know this is. Certainly was a sign from heaven that resurrection eternal church in Hickory. Do you know where Hickory, North Carolina is?
No, but I might have to visit. Keep going.
Okay. So James Albert Kimry Jr. was found naked in the church after falling through the ceiling.
Ooh.
So what happened? Kimry was reported at the church on Saturday, acting very weird. So police came, they got him, they trespassed him, said, "Hey, beat it. You're acting too odd. You got to go." So he decided to proceed with his mission. He returned back to the church late Saturday night. He climbed up a ladder, undressed, because his thinking was, without the clothes, I could actually fit in the ventilation ducts better without clothes on.
Was this Friday?
This is bad.
Saturday night.
Was drinking involved?
So
little bit of drinking.
And I think we've talked about it on this podcast before. Ventilation ducts, it's not like the movies, Mission Impossible. They don't support you. Apparently he thought they did and he never heard the podcast. So he starts climbing through, the duct broke and he fell through into the bathroom. So a church member found Kimry naked in the bathroom. He's been charged with breaking, entering, indecent exposure, as well as trespass.
Yeah.
At least he got his wish to spend the night in a place of worship, right? That's how the article kind of closes out.
That was his goal. It's like, I just want to sleep in the church naked.
Donna says, did
The
he
day I
oil
was
up?
born.
Did he oil up? Slippery situation.
Yes.
Mhm.
Man.
That's
So
sad.
then, last
You know,
but not,
one officer
go-
had to handcuff him and be like, okay, whose car is he going in? You know, it's like,
Mhm.
you were first on scene. You take him.
Do they
wouldn't
bring
care
like
which
a
car.
spare shirt for people, that they find naked? I wonder about that.
they've got to, right?
You
I
would
wouldn't
think.
care who handcuffed or who put him in the car. I just would be, I'm not cuffing him. I forgot my cuffs at the station. That's
Who
not
wants
me.
to pat him down?
He write me up. Yep. Don't have my uniform.
My car ran out of gas.
Yuck.
Oh, so in the state of Texas where I'm at, nothing crazy with the story, but it was actually eye-opening for me. I read the story and then I learned it's actually a thing. So this older couple, they have been going to the same Whataburger for years and years and years. And they know all the staff, all the employees. So they decided the title is What a Marriage. They got married at Whataburger.
Oh my gosh, that's sad.
Like drive through.
So I thought, oh my gosh, that's okay. That's different. I learned there's a tab on the Whataburger website on Valentine's Day. Multiple sites will wed several couples and they will renew the vows of thousands of people at Whataburger on Valentine's Day. It's on their website.
Really?
It's nuts. I thought the story was odd when I read it. I go, oh, this is kind of funny.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna
that's
take
different.
a cheeseburger, 2 large fries. Tell you what, do you do weddings?
I do. And then,
Wow.
it's a thing. People are so head over heels of Whataburger. Don't get me wrong. They make a decent burger and they have a really good honey butter chicken biscuit. But that's to wed or renew your vows.
I love how
Holy cow.
people from Texas pronounce Whataburger.
I'm just saying,
Wada.
you're getting
Whataburger.
married. You're getting married at a place where you're literally going to regret what you just ate.
Yeah,
Isn't that like
it's like getting married
you
at
don't want to regret
McDonald's.
your wedding.
A lot of people
I don't
do. That's what
I couldn't do that.
Statistically.
yeah, based on stats. Like, well, this is going to end sooner or later. Might as well have Whataburger while I'm doing it.
At least you got a milkshake.
Yeah, dip those fries.
And on that note,
Sorry.
you're good.
So that's what I've got. Red, how far are we from Sunset where you're sitting
Well,
right now?
you want me to turn this around?
No,
I'll
it
walk
makes me
down there.
hungry.
Let's walk down to the dock, shall we?
Let's do that.
All
You get a
right.
tour now.
Dun dun dun. I can't turn this camera around. I'm doing this blind. We're walking down.
Regina, we're always talking about food. It
It's
doesn't
getting
matter.
there.
I just ate, but now I'm hungry again.
Julie songs. I
Adam-
love it.
Adam's giving
Trying
us
to
a
drive through
comparative
horses.
view, so we can do the who wore it better shot. Oh my goodness!
We're
Oh,
gonna-
Red, that's beautiful.
Hang on. Is there a way we can pin this? Make it full screen.
Great job tonight.
Okay, now I'm on the dock.
I think
me
we
see
can
the rocks.
we can all back out
Need
there.
to-
Hang on one
Can you
second.
see the rocks?
Does that work?
Uh-oh.
We lost
think
signal a little bit, but just
Uh-oh, are we there?
briefly. Yeah, we can see you. We can
See
see
me
you.
now?
Yep.
Okay.
I
Here
just
we
don't
are
know
on
how
our
to bring
dock.
people back.
You're full screen, Red. Gorgeous.
All right. Well, you get this full screen shit then. Here we go.
I think she meant
Let's
shot.
see if I can.
yeah.
Where are the fish?
I think we've learned the Red Pen doesn't have a filter.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wow.
Hashtag no filter. Full screen. Beep.
I am no filtered and full screen. Here you go. There's the sun.
Beautiful.
Here's the lake.
That is beautiful.
I will scan slowly so I don't make you sick. And there it is. Most of the lake runs off that direction. We're kind of at the end of it down here. That way.
Man, I'm jealous.
There's
That
our
is
house
absolutely
in the background. And a bird.
and a bird.
Oh, a barn swallow.
That is
There you go.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Red.
Where I
wow.
live in the summer. I can sit here. Our signal should stay here now.
That is cool.
Well, thank you.
That's gorgeous.
That's like I get that when I go on vacation, and you get that every night. You just look out of
Yeah.
that. That's
When you were camping and showing us your lake, I was like, I wish I could show you mine.
Show me your lake. I'll show you mine. That's
There it is.
no filters.
Sorry about that.
Adam, how long before we lose your signal? Where are you headed? What's
We'll just set it
I'm
here.
heading towards the light. Well,
he sees the light. It's beautiful. I can see sunset. Sunset colors up there. I see a little pink in the sky.
It's
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
to get.
Oh.
It won't be long, and it will
if
be-
you look carefully,
Yeah.
you can still see this. Oh, that's a street lamp. Never mind.
It's almost the same. It's beautiful in its own way. Just looking around your neighborhood, not that I'm judging you at all, Adam, but
Sorry.
you have a better yard than all your neighbors.
Yeah, there's not a lot of competition.
I agree completely. It's very cute.
But there is this one house that's really nice. Actually, there's one house that's really nice, and there's one house that is overgrown, but in a way that complies with code. So I think you would really like this guy. He's got, his whole yard
He
is covered.
follows the
It's
law.
overgrown. Yes, but no code violations. He's read it. He said, "Oh yeah, they keep every time they get a new code officer, they're trying to get me." He's like, "But nope, I know the book."
I tell you, I love those guys that play just within the rules and manage to tick everybody off in the process.
Okay, so here's
Yeah.
some people not playing by the rules. They're coming.
They're throwing a wake.
Yeah,
This is a no wake zone.
they're in the no wake zone. They're way too close to my dock.
Yell
Let's
at
call
them. Tell them they're live on YouTube right now.
I just waved at them.
You can't park there.
Here come the waves. The
Is your
waves are
dock
coming in.
anchored to the bottom, or is it a floating dock?
No, it is sitting on the rocks on the bottom. It's about 8 feet deep off the end, and you can dive off if you are careful.
Yeah.
It's nice. We swim, we fish, we throw the dog a ball, and she jumps off the water or into the water and right off the dock. It's pretty nice.
It's beautiful, Red. It really is.
Thank you.
I'm super jealous.
You're welcome to come visit. We have an Airbnb in our backyard as well.
Well, I'll trade you. You can look at my neighbor's garage from my
There you go.
Airbnb, and I'll look at your lake from yours.
There you go. There's a lake view from ours. It's kind of over the roof of our house, but yeah. That's our umbrella stays. They look like they're coming out of my head. I'm just sitting with my back on this thing.
Do you get bad weather there? Like,
Oh yeah,
What's
we've
the
had
worst?
tornadoes and bad winds, and we're at the south end of our lake. So you get that north wind, and it blows all the way down the water onto us. And we've had the boats come off the hoist. They're sitting on these hoist thingies. Let's show them to you. These boat lift things. And sometimes the waves will just lift up the dock and bust up all the wood, and you have to start over. And that's happened to us 3 times in the past 23 years. So yeah, it's a mess. But you just carry on.
Well-
Rebuild, pick it up.
Our goal tonight was to get to see the sunset from your house.
Well,
and
just
I feel
about
like we
there.
got mission accomplished. It is
There you
beautiful out
are.
there.
It's beautiful.
Thomas, do you have a sunset out your window? Am I the only one that doesn't have one?
Well, no, I face north, so I can just tell that it's setting and where it's at.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're the only one just kind of left in the dark. As of
Adam's-
now, so.
Adam and Scott are in the darker time zone than we are.
He's got it. So
He's got twilight there.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Pretty.
Eastern, but we get late sunsets. So we're very
Mhm.
close to the time zone switch.
Very pretty.
I love it. Speaking of weather, I typically don't bring it up too often on the podcast, but just because what's going on. And I've seen we have a few from California in chat in regard to Hurricane Hillary. There's been questions of what's happening, where it's going. So as the weekend goes on, the biggest impacts are going to be in the central coast of Baja California. That's where it's really going to clip that. They're going to see some storm surge, lots and lots of rain, probably going to see wind damage. And I know that part of Baja California will see mudslides as well, based off of kind of how it's set up. For those in California, you're looking at really early Monday morning, but by then it will be downgraded not only from a major hurricane to a hurricane down to tropical storm as it moves into Southern California. And it's going to make a shift eastward, which means it's going to move inland and over land. So it's going to continue to lose energy really quick. So if you're in Southern California, you're going to be looking at heavy rainfall at a rapid rate. So flash floods is going to be the biggest concern. I've seen some that are kind of more up by Santa Barbara, areas like that. You're still going to see rain and potentially flash flood in low-lying areas and somewhat coastal. But the major damage and concern and panic because of a hurricane, it's been nearly a decade since anything like this has come around. You really don't have to be too panicked. You're not going to feel a full brunt of a major hurricane hitting you in Southern California. You're going to see some rain and flash flooding and things like that. So rest assured, you're going to be okay. But keep watching, because they call it that cone of uncertainty. It likes to change and shift. So that's where we are a few days out. I'm going to update on my community page of my YouTube channel as this comes in, but that's just for you in California that have been asking a few questions. I want to make sure to get that in before we go off for the night.
One more thing. How long has it been since they've had like a hurricane in California?
I think it was right around 80 years where they've had anything close to this coming. And there's actually a breakdown I watched the other day. It even goes further back to where they've had something this severe even in the area. So it's definitely a big event. I know my dad's in Southern California and he's watching it, and there's a lot that you're not used to it. So there's a lot of questions. There's a little bit of panic going on.
84 years. So
it's not going to be a fire hazard thing though, because of the rain, right?
No, it's not. I mean, obviously when the storm comes in, there are thunderstorms associated with it, which produce lightning, but because of the massive wet season California has had as of late, flash flooding is going to be the worst because there's nowhere for a lot of this water to go and where it's going to come. So that's part of where it's going to happen and take place. But it's much better than actually having a major hurricane move into Southern California. There's not going to be storm surge, things like that. Now, southern facing beaches, for those, will see major swells come in, very, very large waves. Well, and that impacts far up the coast as well. So the real experienced guys who love being in the water and surfing are going to take advantage of it and jump on it. But the average beach goer in the summer being out there, it's going to create rip currents and different things like that. So something to keep an eye on the coastal sides of California over the next week.
Be safe.
Yep.
Crazy. And we've got like in Washington right now, there's a medical lake or something, huge fire. Towns are evacuating right now. It's just crazy all over the country.
Yep.
It has
been hot here. It's been.
And Donna, great point. There's huge burn scar. Yeah. When those fires burn through and they go, you talk about mudslides and flooding and things like that, because there's no active or current vegetation that can absorb a single % of that moisture. So keep an eye out for that. But again, this is the best case for a worst case scenario for a storm of 80 some odd years moving into the area. So no need to panic.
Yeah. And there's people surfing in that weather, says Content Angel. It's like, hey, did you say high winds? The waves will be great.
My brother-in-law.
Yep, absolutely.
Crazy.
That's really cool. Well, Adam, Rred, is there anything you'd like to say and shout out to anybody else? I know we already got Stuart for you, Rred. If there's anybody else, family, friends, I think a lot of
to all the chat. I love you all. I have so much fun chatting with everybody.
I think chat's really excited about being able to put a face to the name.
Now you got me.
We fell in love with you in chat, and now we can see who it is. So now there's a face with the names. So both of you, thank you. Adam, did I cut you off? Who are you going to do a shout out to?
Adam's turned out the light. There he is.
Let me see. I figured out the chat command. So I would like to give my shout out to Donna Barkley, Content Angel, Tommy143, Twubble, Regina Crawford, MCAT, Angelina Knox, Sixwell Bus, Lisa Wilmot, MCAT, and that's it.
Wow.
Tag, Billy Martin.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
He's just
Just
reading
going
names.
down the list. Yeah.
Gerald,
Just
got
from
another
memory. From
Kelly
memory.
P.
Everybody.
I was hoping I could select messages, but I don't think I have that privilege.
You don't have that power yet.
We have
Negative.
not. We
Don't
like
give him
you,
that
but we're not
power.
sure if we trust you.
By
That's-
design.
you
I
guys
did
are great.
have a story I could I'd like to share if possible.
Oh
Oh,
yes.
do.
So
I will. Put the sunset to it.
okay, so I will tell a story that'll set the mood. Not really. So
Not really.
when we were starting to plant some of our stuff up front, when plants are small, they're a little vulnerable. They're in danger of being trampled by rabbits and squirrels and things. So, and that was happening to one of our plants. Every morning we'd wake up and we'd find, leaves, broken stems, petals and things on the ground. So my wife got really frustrated with this, and she found a bunch of sticks and put them in the ground, to keep the things away, kind of like a
Yeah.
blockade or a barrier. But that wasn't enough. In our yard, we found a bunch of nails, and so she put them in there too. And she told me, and I said, "You put nails in the ground?" And she goes, "It's okay, it's okay. I put the sharp side down." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." So I go over there, and she put glass shards in there too. I was like, "Oh, would you put those sharp side down too?" So,
What is she trying to keep out? Is it like cats?
or rabbits or squirrels, all the little critters that might.
All
Adam.
the soft butt critters.
Can you see these nails? This is
Are those to keep the birds off?
Yes, it works great. Just put some nails up here and they don't land on it. You just got to remember they're there when you hold on to the dock. It works great. Nails are wonderful.
Have you tried
Nailed it.
glass?
I have not tried.
Glass shards. That's perfect.
Not on that. No.
Nothing screams
No.
comfort like bare feet and glass shards
Yeah.
of the water. That's perfect.
I love that story though. The glass shards is great. She won't have slubs either. Slugs
have
and bunnies
to,
don't like glass.
Yes, things with soft things that are living tend not to like glass shards. So I'll have to show you in digging. I found a bunch of interesting trinkets. So I'll have to show them to you sometime. But one of the things is I have an older house too. It was built in 1920,
Mhm.
and one of the things we found is there was a coal chute, and in our native bed there's just coal everywhere, little chunks of coal that had, I guess, fallen out as they brought it down the chute. And
Oh,
so
wow.
we've got these little, I've got quite a collection of, and I thought it was a cool rock at first, and I was like collecting them. I was like, oh look, it's like graphite or something. No, just coal. So
Santa never brought you a lump of coal?
not until this spring.
Ah,
So there you go.
that's funny.
Can I just say, I should have said early on, Polymac was first in chat tonight, and it takes a lot to be first in chat. Polymac, you were first. Congratulations. I apologize for waiting until the end to recognize you, but thank you for sticking around, and thanks for being first in chat. Appreciate
And
it.
take care of that internet all weekend.
Yep, all weekend long. You're going to find out you didn't want to win.
Right.
That's right. Speaking of weekend, it's getting later here on a Friday night. I think it's that time where we start to celebrate and enjoy the weekends. Rred, Adam,
Thank
thank you guys so much
us.
for joining and being here. This was a
It
riot.
was fun. Nice
And
Yeah,
meeting
thank you.
all.
Thank you.
I think you need to continue doing this with other victims.
Oh,
Yes.
hey, I was thinking
We
maybe we
use the
could.
term guest.
Yeah,
Love
well,
that
just like
idea.
the owner of the the honor of owning the internet. Hey, I was thinking maybe we could nominate somebody for the next show.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Who do you have in mind?
Well, I don't know if Lisa would work as far as her time zone, but I know she was interested in joining.
She would be
Maybe
hilarious.
She would
maybe
do.
maybe 6 Volt would be a good guest.
Mhm.
Yeah, somebody who we haven't had on the show before, but I don't know. Maybe there's also somebody who wants to do it. So
I like
we-
it.
We
Keep
might
doing it.
put some feelers out. You guys did great for like the inaugural, not knowing what to expect, short notice. You guys were fantastic guests. We appreciate you
you.
both.
Literally, he messaged me at 8 a.m. this morning and asked. So
Thanks,
it was
Will.
very,
Thanks.
very short notice.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Well, you guys, Adam, enjoy your neighborhood walk with your around the neighborhood. Rred, enjoy the rest of
Yes.
your sunset. Appreciate
I
both.
will.
Thomas as well.
We will
Have a
talk
great
to you
weekend.
on Monday.
Yes, have a
Thanks, you
great
guys.
weekend. Thomas, get some
All
golf
right.
in.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
You guys have a good night. We'll catch you.
Yes.
I'll catch you on Monday, right?
All right. Bye.
Bye.